steering wheel. Lapse the steering wheel, yeah. Give him steering wheel. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to him. Come on! Whoa!
Do that, can I please? Do that hip.
How the f*** is that possible?
I'm driving like a grandma. Get that, Ralph? Did you hear me? Proper radio. Ralph, acknowledge. Now, come on, close him down and kill him. We've got a lunatic on the track. Down that interstate.
I am so annoyed.
Boys and girls, your attention, please.
Hello and welcome back inside the Park for Mayor for podcast number 977. This is Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
A.K.A. Negative Camera. You know I've asked you here.
Convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
That's all I need. Hey, tonight we're going to cover a lot of things. Look, we're officially into the 2026's weird season part of the season anyway. Early running is already telling us some interesting things about the cars, and there's all kinds of argument about engines, and Cadillac just, did the Super Bowl. We got a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about, what did George Russell have to say about the cars? Qualifying, that's going to be interesting. There's some commentary around that. Starts, the starting procedure, there's talk around that. FIA's digital brain, how about that? And Cadillac Super Bowl livery reveal and lawsuit. We're going to talk about all of that. But before doing that, if you know what I have to do, I have to go all the way to the right coast of our nation, nestled near our nation's capital, and introduce my coach. You know her, you love her, the lovely, the redoubtable Grace. Grace, how you doing?
Hey, Tom, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. And
all right.
I know you're excited because he missed us, Grace. He missed us.
I am excited.
That means I got to go all the way south, down by America's team, nestled in Fort Worth, plying his skills. Some know him as the sporting manager of the Heart of Racing Aston Martin team here in America. But around these parts, we know him as something completely different.
Hello, everybody. This is Paul Charles, the International.
We know him as the International. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing okay. Yeah,
it's been a minute.
Thawed out here. It has been a while. Yeah. I was like, I thought I'd actually been booted and didn't realize it.
We just ghosted you and didn't tell you. That's great.
We ghosted.
Yeah, I was just like, it's like no one evidently liked my penalty on the Lando Norris comment, so I figured that was the end.
We ghosted.
I went
you
all Peter Windsor on you there. You disagreed with us, and I never had you back on.
Until March 4th when we need you, right? Because otherwise I have to do all the race reviews. So,
yeah, we wouldn't want that.
No.
Help us, Obi-Wan Paul Obi.
That's right.
We need you.
It's March 4th. What are you doing, Paul?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to do a show?
Yeah. Grace has already booked her holidays around the
I know.
That's right. That's right.
See, it's a comedy of errors because, folks, I was trying to give Paul space. Because, see, Paul's season has already started at the Daytona 24, the Rolex, right? And so it's already started, and I know he's talking about Sebring, and he's got so much racing things going on that I wanted to give Paul a little time so he could fix the water supply in his laundry room.
Yes.
And
still not done yet. I learned drywall mudding today, so there you go.
Oh, see, there you go, folks. He just does everything. He's a chef.
Yeah.
He's a home remodeler. He cut a hole in his wall and put a doorway in. He's a plumber. He's a sporting manager of a race car team, and he's a race car driver and a podcast.
I do
all of a sudden, I'm kind of feeling inferior, Paul. I don't mind telling you.
But the biggest question is PEX A or PEX B pipes in your wall. What do you do?
That's a good question. My plumber says stay away from PEX. It's not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably says stay away from shark bites, too.
Definitely. He said stay away from shark bites. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm just putting it out there, license.
Well, now I'm nervous because my whole wall is PEX pipe and shark bite fittings.
Yeah, it's all PEX and shark bite. Yeah. There you go.
And I just closed it up, so I better stop that leak.
As it turns out, Paul, Ferrari's new car may be all PEX and shark bites in there.
Oh, ouch.
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know anything, really.
We don't.
A little flex seal, it'll be exactly like the Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get that going.
That's it.
No doubt about it.
I just need to order some more Flex Seal tape just in case.
You need Flex Seal, Paul. Everybody needs Flex Seal.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Seal.
Yes. All right. We're going to talk about Formula One. There is some stuff to talk about this week in this weekly news cycle. I'm struggling with the English language tonight. I'm not quite sure why. I know, it's weird, isn't it?
What does it all mean, Basil?
I don't know.
Maybe this is a French podcast and you don't even know it.
Oui. Omelette du fromage.
Pardon moi?
Pardon moi? Oui, monsieur. So, yes, we're going to go all Pierre Gasly on everybody. Let's start off with a little of the concept around the cars and what George Russell said. Basically, following is easier is the quote. And I was like, okay, but does that equal overtaking? So what was being said? Well, we got George Russell in the press saying that following feels easier. This came off the Barcelona test, especially in high-speed corners, pointing to reduced downforce and slower cornering, reducing wake impact. Effectively is what the suggestion is. And the first, I guess it matters because it's sort of the first credible maybe 2026 fixes the show signal that isn't just a pure lap time cope, right? You know, what's his lap time? Was he quicker? You know, hard to tell. But the assumption may be that following is easier. Does that equal more overtakes? And the counterpoint of that is, I guess you could follow all day long. It's not pass if the energy tactics create a defensive parity between the leading car and the trailing car. Or if everyone derates in the same zone, or how's that all going to play? And it all gets into this, which we'll talk about a little bit more later, about this energy mapping and how they deploy energy, which is a big unknown at this point, or what impact it'll have. And, you know, that feedback's coming from very limited running, admittedly, out of Barcelona. So the question I have for both of you, I have two questions for both of you. And I'm intrigued. Does 2026 create racing or just create new ways to prevent racing? What do you think?
Go ahead, Grace.
Go, Grace.
No,
she was like looking around going, if I don't make eye contact, Paul's going to have to answer this one.
Paul's going to have to go first.
I mean, of course the answer is we don't actually know, right? That's why this isn't, you know, right? Nobody's making eye contact because we don't know. But I'm going to go with Formula One history, recent history, which is they are creating not more overtaking, right? Like this is, you know, because I agree with you, right? Following isn't the same as overtaking, and that's, you know, I don't see that that's really what we've created here. That's always what they say, I guess, right? It's always like, oh, this is it. This is going to be the year. And then it's just like, oh, no, it's just, you know, dirty air and it prevents racing, right? Because nobody can get past anybody. So we don't know. Of course, we would hope this would solve it, right? This is what we want it to be the year. This is the year they're right, but I'm going to go with this is the year they're not right, and they're just preventing racing.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah. Well, I mean, following is one thing. The aero stuff makes sense to a degree, but there's still, obviously, all the teams are going to evolve to try and make extra wake so that it's harder for them to follow. And some teams may even already have that tactic. We don't have enough data to know, you know, did George follow the Cadillac? I don't know. Did he follow, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of thought goes into the design of the car, not just to make it go fast around the corner, but also to stop the car behind going fast behind it. As we've seen some of these cars in recent years that could actually lead very well, but had a bit harder time following, like the McLaren and the Mercedes.
The McLaren,
and things. Right. So I think, in faster turn, that's great. I mean, obviously the one element that's going to allow them to pass is the not DRS, but it's really DRS in a different form with the electric battery deployment at a certain juncture where how close you are to the car in front. So that's going to help. Or at least visually we won't see the DRS deployed, but we will visually see the car have an advantage, you know, coming off the corner when it's close enough. So with the cars with less aero wake, then it should mean this happens sooner, which I would think would mean it would happen more often in that respect.
Yeah, I was thinking about the aero, Paul. You've got the as Grace and I read, the flappy wings, you know, on the front and back and everything.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, are we solving dirty air, or are we just shifting the problem to battery management?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's not necessarily shifting the problem as much as putting the emphasis on it. And we will see with all the different engines and all the different teams, it's going to be a very, very varied, big spectrum of who gets it right, who gets it wrong, or how they do it. Like you were talking about everyone derating at the same time. I don't think that's really going to happen, because I think every team is going to have a whole different program and plan on how that engine deploys and then enhances the energy as well. I mean, I've learned a lot dealing with the Valkyrie and how energy is deployed and how it's saved and how it's harnessed. And that's with a car that doesn't really have battery power, but we're racing against cars with a lot of battery power, so we obviously keep our eyes on them. So there's a lot to be learned. I've learned a lot from it, and so I'm expecting there to be a lot more emphasis on. A lot of the teams are doing a lot of work on just working those procedures through and try and maximize them. And as we found, like with this new engine gate, with the spongy conrods and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The information somehow spreads around the paddock very quickly. You know, where did that information come from about the Red Bull engine and the Mercedes engine, and end up in the press and every other team knowing about it? You know, things just happen. And so I think what happens with this new generation of car, that not only within the team are they going to learn a lot, but also it's just kind of ooze out, and a lot of the teams are gradually going to pick up little things here and there where everything kind of equalizes and the gap becomes a lot smaller.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about how that'll play. You know, following it, you know, doesn't necessarily equate overtakes, and like you said, Paul, the even when you guys in the Valkyrie are racing against the other top class, they're heavily influenced by battery.
Right.
You know, those strategies, all that, where you derate, how long, and what you do, and all that's baked into their strategy for that race. And you would pick out the obvious places where everybody would traditionally, it would be obvious to derate there. But then again, everybody may come at it a little differently in their strategy and how the car performs and where they think they can, what they think they can get away with. That would give them the energy to deploy at areas that may not be so logical.
And I think those strategies will change from track to track, right? They'll try and get these things to come in the right place on the track where it enhances the car enough to make a pass.
Yeah. And like you said, it can be car specific and track specific, right? So depending on whatever deficiencies their aero design is having might necessitate where they feel their best shot of taking advantage of the energy given the car's performance, you know, and that's always a moving target too, I would imagine. So it'd be interesting to see if they can follow easier, but I'm kind of with you, Grace. I'm kind of thinking, they definitely set out every year, and you know, I've been following this sport for so long. I've taken so many of those damn surveys. And I know both of you have too. And every year, the big fan survey, we really want to know what the fans have to say. And every year it's like more passing. And I'm not one of those people, by the way. That's not a non sequitur for me for F1 and no passing. I mean, that doesn't bother me that much. But I think they always set out to improve racing and passing. And I'm kind of with you, Grace. I think we're creating ways to prevent it. And, you know, I'm sure they're hoping that's not the case, and I'd love to eat crow on that. But
history shows they. I was saying history does show that they've got it wrong nearly every time. So.
Yeah, right.
Those are competing principles, right? And so you have to pick one, right? It's kind of in the same way. It's like you can either have a series that is going to reward having all the talent, all the driver be what you see come forward. You know, the drivers are different. Look at all this versus the cars, right?
Yeah.
But those are competing, principles, right? You can't have both. And so if you're willing to say, hey, I want good racing, but that doesn't equate a lot of passing, that's very different than a principle that is, I just want lots of passing, right? Like these are, you would have to build and design your cars and your series and what you value and what you reward differently. And so what Formula One actually is, I think, in our opinion, and what F1 marketing wants it to be, are competing.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to sell something that isn't really what Formula One is deep down inside, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They need to reword those surveys, right? Do you want more passing or just better passing, more competitive passing?
That's right.
Right.
I'd rather watch one really great pass. Right. Watch NASCAR.
Right.
There's plenty of ways. If you just want to watch passing, there's plenty of ways to do that.
Yeah.
This isn't it. It's okay.
Yeah. You can see a lot more goals in an NHL game if you take the goalie out.
Right.
Yeah.
So 28 to 27. That was amazing.
Exactly.
Was it though?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same for Premier League, right, Paul? You know, you watching English Premier League football, and the score is 1-0,
and it could be the best game you've ever seen.
Yeah, it may be.
Right.
It could be incredible. Yeah, and to your point, I was going to bring that up, Grace. Is a good point. There's a lot of passing in NASCAR, and if you love that concept of lots of cars passing for position, in NASCAR, the most important passes end up in the last 10 laps. The rest of the race is passing for position and pit strategy and fuel mileage and where they are and staying out of trouble. And there's a lot of strategy that goes around that. I'm not denigrating a NASCAR. I'm just saying that would be a series if you really like prolific passing to watch, right? Formula One typically isn't that, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. In the news also, qualifying has started to be a little bit of an interesting issue. Autosport framed the article around 2026 qualifying as sort of a driver exposure zone. It's optimizing the new boost and energy deployment, which is 350 kilowatts from the MGUK, is the core performance really differentiator in this equation, right? So the drivers are already describing the deployment choice as what they call speed chess, where every decision is a risk-reward moment in the way that they're envisioning this playing out by the limited running they've done. And, that matters in early season, shock results could be plausible because the best car might lose to the best procedure and best deployment, if that's the case, right? The assumption being, well, this will be easy to see and understand on TV. And the counterpoint is really a lot of the real performance will be invisible unless the broadcast overlays nail it and show us what's happening. And to be honest with you, that's not guaranteed that the broadcast is going to effectively be tracking and showing the fans this whole energy battle unfolding invisibly, and knowing who's harvesting, who's saving, who's deploying, who's boosting, and if that's not all tracked, it's all happening invisibly, and so that's a bit of an issue. So, I guess the questions that I was thinking about, I wanted to ask both of you is this a return? Let's start with you, Paul. We've talked about this in the past, and we'll get Grace's take on it. Is this a return to the driver makes the difference era, or a return to the engineer makes the difference?
Yeah, I think it definitely is a combination of both. I think the engineering and just like having the strategies and procedures for a race is going to be the same as doing a qualifying lap. And the drivers do have a lot of input on it because they influence how the car harvest and their technique. It could be a learned technique, kind of like learning the Pirelli tire when it first came off, right? Some certain people are going to kind of pick up on it a lot quicker than others. Some, maybe the older drivers, may have a little harder time adapting again. Hard to say. But yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be. I'm not sure I'm really interested in looking at that data when they're on a qualifying lap. Personally.
Yeah.
I want to see someone grab a car by the scruff of the neck and just take everything for it and not know, he lifted off 50 meters earlier, but he's deployed. It's like, sorry, it's not what I'm interested in the qualifying lap. Qualifying lap is usually the purest of speed, right? We're not holding out. We're not saving tires. We're not saving fuel. We're not saving energy. We're just going out there and taking that car as fast as we can. And hopefully that's what we still see. Now, saying that, there's certain techniques that found out in the past few years that kind of aid both, like the whole lift and coast. I know they're talking about that because that harvests energy, but also what I've found amongst some drivers that can do it really well, you lift and coast, you can actually go just as fast as you can if you're really trying to just push the whole time. It's just a different technique of where you brake, how how you get off the gas, etc. But you can ultimately nearly get to the same lap time doing both if you're really, really good at that. And I've seen a few drivers I know personally who are very, very good at that.
Interesting. Grace, we've talked in the past, remember we were talking about the engineering, and a lot of this came about when we were talking, I think, back in 2014 when we were had shows back. Yes, we had shows back then. And we were asking ourselves, has the pendulum swung too far to the engineering side of the equation or too far to the entertainment side of the equation? In this case, has it swung maybe too far to the engineering and propeller head side and not enough to the driver's side? How do you see it?
All right. So first of all, I think you need to tell us who the source is again, because I don't think you did that correctly.
Oh, sorry. It was a motorsport. Yes,
Very
thanks
good.
for correcting me.
No problem.
I started a little
Controversy.
right there, didn't I?
If only Patrick had also written the article, this would have been great. Right. So, okay.
Yes.
So
Ooh, I've known that for a while.
I haven't
know,
done
right?
Patrick Head.
What's
Oh,
that guy
I also
done?
have, does anybody have anything for Mark? Mark is.
That's right.
Yeah,
that
we've
season
heard that
starts
one.
soon, too.
Yeah.
I think that, first of all, just bring back refueling. And then we could just have this conversation, not about electricity and whether or not you're lifting and coasting or whether or not, just bring back refueling and we can have the same conversation and it'll be a lot easier and a lot more fun. And I agree with Paul, and I think most of us would, that are anoraks for the sport just want to, that's what you want in a qualifying lap. Sometimes at some tracks that is the most interesting thing. And there have been some years that is the most interesting thing. Yeah, I don't think that's not where you want the strategery. The strategery comes in the race, right? And the conserving and who's lifting and coasting. And so I think that, I think it would be more, I don't know. We could see. I guess I don't see where Formula E was some big thing, right? And so, right? And
It's
so
not
is
big.
this the same? It's not a big thing, Jeff. But I think, but you know what I mean? So they have some experience in this arena. And if everybody wasn't flocking to Formula E, then I'm not sure that you're going to be able to carry that same sort of conversation to Formula One. And people are just going to be like, oh, it's Formula One. It's fine. Right? Like why we would all been watching something else. So, we'll see. I think that I just don't think it's inherently interesting to people, but you're right. It really does depend on the broadcasting and what they talk about. And maybe this will be the year for Alonso, and he will just be the master of lift and coast, and he'll get another championship.
It's Fernando Lyco Alonso.
That's right. Lift and coast.
I like it. That was my second question, Paul. What's the first big quali headline? A hero lap or a top driver completely botching deployment? And I think you're right. We don't want to see the latter.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I agree with you.
No. We're going to see a lot more this. I think we will see a lot this week, hopefully.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of
But I
figures it all
think-
out. We haven't seen anything. We're just hearing conjecture, right?
Right.
But I think the problem is what actually makes not what does Paul want the headline to be, but what will get the headline published are two different things, right? And so that is the unfortunate problem here, right? Because
Always
it is
the
the
case.
botching
You're right.
that is
right,
going to be
Grace.
what's going to get.
That'll be the clickbait.
Right.
Yeah.
There's Lewis Hamilton with his head down, little tear coming out.
Yes.
Kim Kardashian just holding him because he just didn't make it.
That's right. So I think
I don't know who did the meme. Kudos to you, but it had a picture of him and Kim Kardashian's Super Bowl that had the FIA banner. It said Lewis Hamilton fined for ignoring red flags. I don't know who.
That is
somebody
good.
posted it on our Facebook group, and I don't know who did the meme, but it was brilliant. Kudos to
brilliant.
you. Yeah, that was so good.
wow.
Yeah, that was funny.
Right on.
Yeah. So keeping with this, there's been a lot of, to your point, Paul, a lot of speculation, a lot of conjecture. But I'm not being flippant about that. I mean, even news outlets, we're talking about veteran F1 people that talk to veteran F1 pundits in the paddock and their sources and stuff like that. And I think there probably is a lot of head scratching about how this energy deployment, where we harvest, where we deploy the boost, how does that manifest itself in race strategy, the impact? Are people running out of energy? Is this an issue? And Grace, how long have you and I been asking for refueling? Right after they banned it. So just for the
Since
record.
Felipe Massa was on the track. I mean, hey,
Since
they
he
got...
dragged the whole unit down the pit lane in Singapore. Yeah.
Look, if my hopes and dreams can get rid of Adami, maybe my hopes and dreams can bring back refueling, right? Anything is possible. It's still the preseason.
Right.
They have time. They have 3 weeks. They can figure it out.
Right. So the other thing, the race, the fine young and effervescent folks over at the race, Jonathan off of his hiking adventure, they were arguing about why the race starts may become a genuine lottery again. Now, what are they implying there? That the race starts, the 2026 starts look clunky, according to them, and inconsistent, and not just because teams are rusty or, they're trying to get their clutch bite points, et cetera, et cetera. The cause is the assumption that with no MGUH, that was the turbo in MGU power generator on the exhaust. Without that, that means presumably that turbo lag could be back as a real problem. And with the new restrictions limiting MGU-K usage at the start phase, notably like battery assist only after there's a certain speed threshold, right? So once you get up to a certain speed, then the battery assist is there. So if that's not an option at starts, cars are energy starved. So even if you could spin battery, you might be a sitting duck by turn 1. And so the starts are kind of, in my mind, the starts are kind of the championship equity issue, how well you get a start. If the launch becomes volatile for these teams, strategy and grid order matter even more than they did, right, around tracks. It's not that qualifying grid positions didn't matter, but now they become incredibly important in that. And you might say, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Does that mean it's going to be messy all year long? And I would say my counterpoint to that is all three of us know that teams generally figure out a way to optimize pretty darn fast if the rules structurally, have that limitation. They typically find out, not saying it's legal or not, I'm just saying they have a way of engineering and fixing those issues. But if the rules are structurally limit those fixes, then maybe that unpredictability at starts could persist for the season, but I don't know. My questions I thought we could all talk about was, do we love chaos at starts until a title decider and then all of a sudden it pisses us off, or do you see this as something that could be an issue but the teams will overcome?
Both. I don't know who's going first. Well, the other 3 questions you've asked somebody, so I'll just insert my answer here, sir.
I'm talking to you, Grace.
I don't think you can blame the crickets on us.
He was looking right at you.
I was looking right at you.
I'm so sorry. I'll try better next time to see whose eyes we're looking at
great.
here.
No, let's start with Grace.
I think the answer is both. Whatever your questions were now, that was my answer.
Do we love chaos at starts?
Yes.
Until it decides a title.
I think we do. I mean, chaos seems like the wrong word, but I think similar to what Paul was saying about a qualifying lap, you want something to be exciting at the beginning,
action.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know that chaos seems like a noise sound versus kind of thing, chaos. But yeah, you want to see some going wide and some almost hitting the rails or almost running into this guy, right? Especially because we're going to get like 2 laps into this race and we're going to have to watch that start like 12 times. So make it interesting, right? Give us something here to watch, right? So I think we want that. And then, I think that they will begin. That you're right. The teams will figure it out, right? Australia's going to be a little argy-bargy, and then they'll figure it out. And I think, that's how that goes, and they'll tweak it. And I don't know what an ugly start. Will they just all run off the island? I guess that would be an ugly start. But I think otherwise, they'll figure it out. It'll be. But you want a little excitement there in the beginning.
Yeah. When I think of turbo lag, I'm thinking of late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s turbo lag. I think they've got a lot of that engineered out of the system. Not to say that there's a momentary lag, that's measurable, but I can't see it being like, hit the gas and like and spooling up like the old Toros did. Yeah, waiting for that turbo to load, for about 30 seconds, and then it's like, woo, this Saab is fast.
Then they're waving their hands in the car. No, it won't go. It won't go.
No. Yeah, exactly. I don't see that. Oh, although, is the FIA okay with the starts if they're kind of hard and clunky and not actually as intended? And do they tweak it, Paul, once it looks ugly?
I don't think it's going to be ugly. I mean, it's not.
No.
It's not their first rodeo. It's not like they said, this is the clutch and this is a turbo. See what you can figure out. I think they've got a lot of data on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think they've probably figured it out for the most part. But it's not going to say it's not going to be more refined, but I definitely don't think clunky is the word I would use. They don't have like a Mark II Cortina clutch in there, you know. They're a bit more sophisticated than that. They have a bit more not. Yeah, whoa. Oh.
Get the hop, you know. It's like,
come on, Mildred, clutch in.
clutch in.
But that said, you know, once again going back to what I know in the sports car field is obviously we do standing starts at every pit stop, and it is a crucial part of how you get it out of the box.
Yeah,
and you're always searching for a better way to do it, and there's always a better way to get the car moving, and they're definitely going to do that. But I don't see anyone being kind of caught red-handed with not figuring out how a clutch works coming off the line. I mean, we've had the MG UK for a while, but it's not like we didn't know anything before that.
Yeah,
right?
True. So, see, I don't think we're all going to get Ed Stroud and Mitchell mommed here. We don't agree with the race on this thing. I think the starts will be okay. It's not a bunch of whether it in the past was full power. Maybe the electric isn't there, and it's really down to the.
It's a little unfortunate the electric isn't there, because I did actually see a Formula E start the other. So it came up on my phone. It wasn't chosen. But someone said, hey, get a load of this, the start of Formula E. And I was like, okay. And it was exciting as I remembered. But, you know, they do launch, you know, electric cars do launch off the line pretty quick.
Yeah,
and so it would be kind of fun to see them have all that electric power off the start. But I also get that if they use it all then they're going petering out by turn one.
Yeah.
But
right.
I think it's... Yeah, they're obviously starting just using the ice, and the ice is what now, 600 horsepower?
Something like that.
So, I mean, it's still fast enough for it. They can light the rear tires, and people can make different moves and get it a little bit wrong. So, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, the ice engine's pretty damn powerful in that light of a car. So,
yeah.
I mean, even driving my own electric car, that was the first thing I had to learn was I had to really be cognizant of red lights, because I would be in the middle of an intersection, there'd be nobody around me. And I'm like, did I just blow that red light? And it's because I don't have it's instant torque, right? So you always have to I had to become very cognizant of being the first off the line all the time, because you're just looking around going.
What you got to be careful of is if you're on the third row, you got to got to physically get ready for that pathway through the first four cars.
Right.
You know, okay, I'm going to the middle, then I'm going to the right. You know?
Get out of my way.
Yeah. Going up on
There's an old lady just about to cross the road over there, so I'm going to go the other side.
That's right. That's right. Like a little Frogger. I'm fine. I can do it. I was raised in the 80s. I know
everybody's at home laughing. Grace doing that. No. No, it's what Paul's saying is for real, because I've been driving behind Grace in a rental car and see all four wheels off the ground going over a railroad track. So, I mean, that's for real. She wasn't
my car.
She's like Bo and Luke Duke in that thing, man. She's
railroad cars can go anywhere and do anything.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So it'll be good. Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be fine. I also think that the race has to sell papers. We don't have to sell papers, right? They can't just say it'll be fine. That's not good. Scott Mitchell mom can't write it'll be fine.
Well,
which I think is.
Sign off. I'm going home.
I'm done.
Oh,
there you go, Ed. It'll be okay.
Yo, Ed, get your ass back out there and make some shit up, would you?
Yeah. We said 3 pages of work. So you got
Yeah.
like really big riding with lots of big spacing.
No,
Everything.
Ed, I
Make
said
the margins
I need
really big.
3,000 words.
Fine.
3,000, not 500. Come on.
And only 6 bad puns. So, right, so they gotta, it's this time of year, right? You gotta generate a little bit of excitement that may not really be there.
Got to release the noble.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Next up. Oh, you guys are going to love this one. The FIA's digital brain called Race Watch. Are you getting this? Race Watch. It has its own brand.
Race Watch.
Is that kind of like Neighborhood Watch?
Yes.
Little eyeball. Yeah.
Race Watch. The little eye. It's like Neighborhood Watch. I like it.
Yeah.
And the future of stewarding trust. Now, this gets to the very heart of what all three of us have been saying. And it's not just F1, folks. Paul has to deal with this on a week-in, week-out basis with IMSA. So it is the old stewarding trust. And I'm not talking about like the policeman's trust, Paul. Don't get excited. The who aren't playing. All right, so what is this? So Autosport details the FIA's Race Watch platform. What is that, I hear you ask? Well, it's 200 audio and video feeds plus data from 300 plus sensors, integrated incident review, track limits, operational monitoring. But wait, there's more. It now includes, get this, and I know you're going to be excited.
Who's surprised? Of course it does.
AI-supported capabilities, including automated detection, and get this, interpretation for certain situations like, guess what? Track limit infringements.
Of course it does.
Oh my gosh, AI slop to the rescue. If we were looking for mediocrity, we have found it. And I gotta say, why does all of this matter? Well, if fans, I think this is a real thing, but I don't want to cast aspersions on F1 because I'm sure they thought about it. So they may, and right now, as an American, I have no idea how I'm going to watch this and what it's going to look like and what the presenter crew is. And we're 4 weeks away from a race, right?
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
So if fans are going to struggle to see the 2026 energy tactics, then officiating tech will become a bigger part of the trust and legitimacy of these regulations. I hate to put that pressure on you folks, but it's true. The assumption that more tech equals more fairness. I would say if AI automation is perceived as opaque or inconsistent, it can reduce the trust. It can erode that trust unless the FIA is transparent about the process and thresholds. It's not enough just to say, well, AI said he was over track limits. Okay, but it's like a lot of large companies now struggling with AI, and some of them are ditching the whole concept because I saw one article I was reading. I think it was a CIO. He was saying, "Hey, I'm not working on a system that has no clear, transparent governance. Published governance and how it's governed. Not going to do it." And in this case, it's similar to that. If we don't understand what Race Watch is doing and how it governs and what its interpretation of those processes and what thresholds they're measuring, then it erodes the trust and starts to undo what it is that this whole tech package they may or may not come out with would do. So this brings up the whole question, and I'll toss this to you, Grace. Do we want faster decisions or explainable decisions?
This is basically RoboCop, right? Why don't you just get Sylvester Stallone and we'll just eat Taco Bell? Oh no, that was Judge Dredd. Wrong person.
I didn't want to correct
anyway,
you. Yeah, that's.
I got it. It got
that
there.
Was Peter. Who was the guy? Who was RoboCop?
Peter. Oh, come on.
But anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So,
it's Peter.
We're friends. We're tight. Peter. Anyway, Judge Dredd, right? That's what we're talking about here, right? They're just going to tell us, well, it said, Race Watch said, and we just all have to believe it, and it's all going to be sponsored by Taco Bell, right? So I think the thing is, I don't understand why you need all of this, right? I agree. Like, what good is being able to sort through all this information, right? We have to be able to understand that. Why can't you just have replays? Other sports have figured this out. and I understand the idea that you can't pause a race the way you can, stick and ball sports, and that complicates how you referee an incident. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that throwing, what did you say, 200 audio and video feeds plus data from 300 plus sensors, how is that making the 4 people who are race stewards, 3 people and 1, former race car driver, how are they figuring this out with way more information than the human can digest, which is why they're then saying
that's
AI.
where AI comes in, right?
But,
AI steward,
But
AI
Formula
steward.
One is known for transparency. When I think, who is the most transparent organization out there? Oh, the FIA. That's exactly what I think. So I don't know why we're suspicious of this at all. This will be fine.
No, Mikey. No, I agree. Yes. I mean, it better be so clear that even Peter Weller knows what's going on.
Peter Weller. Well done, sir.
Very good.
Well.
Yeah. Popped in my head there. Yes, that true. If track limits become automated, Paul, what happens to the let them race vibe?
I don't know.
Because you, my friend, you took a lot of incoming over this last season.
I did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you want to play it by the letter of the rule, interpretation. Although I'm wondering if AI get involved, is like the replay is going to have 3 hands on the steering wheel and things like that. The sponsors
with 6 fingers each.
Yeah, and all the sponsors on the card's going to be in like Russian or something for some reason.
Yeah,
specifically asked for English.
Yeah. It's all like made up Cyrillic letters.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I think we tried this a long time ago. It feels like deja vu that they tried to do this automation thing and it didn't work before and it won't work now. And I would definitely...
I don't remember.
Do some testing. Let's just not bring it in for race 1. And there always has to be interpretation of why something happened. And does AI have
always
all racing knowledge? Is it all complete? The oracles, so to speak, of why every little situation occurred, what triggered it, what happened at the beginning, what was the dynamic involvement on the car and why it changed direction. There's all kinds of different things that
does it
you could possibly figure it out.
Does it start hallucinating and penalize outcomes instead of incidents? Actions?
But I think even if it was perfect, right? The way you different games. So if you're looking at football or basketball or something like that, the way you officiate a regular game versus the playoffs are different, right? That's where you need that human interpretation, right? It's not just here's the rules and this is what we follow. That's not the way the rules are written, and how because you're trying to manage the game, you're trying to manage what's happening. It isn't just about you broke the rules, you didn't break the rules, right? It's not really how officiating works. And so I think that's why I agree with you, Paul, 100%. You can't remove that interpretation because an event within context is what you really have to look at, not just the incident. That's always going to be the way sports are.
Yeah. Context is king here, I think, in a lot of ways on how you would interpret it. Because I got to think, Paul, back in the day, and if you've read Max Mosley's autobiography, you'll know this, but the FIA always had a set of rules, but there was just a lot of room for the FIA to have alacrity to maneuver around that broad rule set. And at the time, I remember back in the 90s, early 90s and stuff, I would get frustrated about that because it was like, okay, but, that's such a broad rule. I mean, and it's just so subjective on how the steward wants to apply that, or even in the case if it's brought for World Motorsport Council or the FIA or how Max and team interpreted that. And it always got frustrating because I was like, where's the consistency race from race? But it was by design because it was incorporating enough space for the context to percolate underneath the actual regulation itself. And I think, Paul, you could probably speak more to this than Grace and I can, being a sporting manager of an actual racing team. But having that context and that open area under the regulation allows for the contextual reasons that something may have happened, either driver, competitor, or mechanical, or whatever. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, no, it really is. And obviously I have a lot of discussions with Bo Barfield, et cetera, on from the stewardship side, even throwing things back and forth. And sometimes, we read it like this. Why did you officiate like this? And you may go, well, because of this, or wow, we never thought about it that way. Things like that. You read the rule book. There's lots of mays and could in there. There's not a we will do this if this happens. We will do this if this happens. We may incur a penalty. We may, so they leave that latitude in there for reasonable thinking and context. Right. And as I said, yes, some things you have to get clarified, and sometimes, they button things up a little bit, and sometimes they open things up a little bit. And that's what being human beings and in sports is all about, in my opinion. Yeah.
And that was to your point too, Grace. And I think, it's not as cut and dry as saying black and white. And maybe track limits may be, but other elements of racing aren't that black and white.
Yeah, and I was thinking about what Paul said, that in MotoGP, we made it almost through the whole show before I got to MotoGP as a reference, right? But so last year they changed their stewarding, right, and put Simon Crafar in, and that was one of the things that the riders all appreciated, was even if I was wrong, he always heard me out. Right? Like, he invited us to come in, have a conversation, like Paul was saying. Why did you rule that way? What were you thinking? Here's what was happening on the track. They have a conversation. They still may not, rule on the rider's favor, but they're like, but we had a conversation, and that didn't always happen for them. And they didn't feel heard or able to learn, right? Like, because what you think that may means and what I think that may means are different. And it's only when we have this rub and we have some conversation about this that we kind of learn what we're doing here.
And IMSA does that, right, Paul? When you've had an incident with another car, they bring in both teams. You have that dialogue about your position, and Formula One does that too.
Well, they don't bring in both teams, but they will discuss.
They discuss
with both teams separately. Yeah, they don't put us in a room. That'd be a bad idea.
No, not in the same room.
No, that would be great. That I want to watch.
Paul starts throwing fists. He starts throwing hands in there.
He's Michael Schumacher coming down that pit lane. You just better watch out.
Right. Paul's going to go all shoomy on DC there. Yeah, but
try to kill me.
But you have to, but in a Formula One, same thing. You pleaded your case. You want to have what happened from your view, and you bring data or whatever. But
for sure.
In those cases, I think there has to be some context that is also accounted for within the regulation set. And so that's why in the old days they seem so ambiguous. And so now in the last 5 years, it's just this, cacophony of screaming people about the consistency of the penalties, which I understand. Lewis got a penalty and Max didn't for the same thing, or vice versa, or whatever. And I understand that. And even Grace and I and Paul, we've talked about it. It'd be nice to get some consistency on that. That was Paul's point with Lando last year about the white line, going down underneath the white line. And that was his point. Either if you're anchored in, if you're augured in about consistency, well, technically you should have got a penalty then, right? And everybody was apoplectic about Paul saying that, but that's what we're asking. Is it to be just cut and dry black and white, or is there context? In my opinion, I don't think Lando should have got penalized because of the context, right?
Right.
So that's what we're talking about. And I'm curious about how the Race Watch, with their AI running Grok or whatever they're using, how's that going to work?
Oh, God, I hope everyone's still got their clothes on then.
Well played. Oh, my gosh.
That show's over. I'm done.
Yeah, that was good, Paul.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Right.
So there you go. Moving on from that.
Can we? I don't know. I think we can. I think that's it. We're done.
I don't know that we can.
There goes our rating.
Boy.
We have a rating?
I guess so.
Don't drive angry.
Don't drive angry, Paul.
There you go.
All right. Let's see. The next one up. Well, this, we got to talk about Cadillac Super Bowl livery reveal, don't we?
Sure.
Which was immediately preceded by an announcement of a lawsuit from Michael Bay. What movies did Michael Bay do, Grace? Can you refresh my memory? Do you remember?
Yeah, all the 17 of the Transformer movies.
There you
I
go,
just think what is more American than the American team having a commercial during the Super Bowl to only be immediately sued by somebody?
Yeah. It doesn't get any more American than that.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's so good. Well, Cadillac unveiled its 2026 livery during a Super Bowl commercial, leaning hard into the Americas team and almost like the Dallas Cowboys, your neighbors down there, Paul. The whole imagery around it, including JFK's space race speech. That was touching.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Talk about appropriate a significant part of history and use it to Formula One team.
Trying to tamp down those conspiracy theories, apparently. And they released, Grace, an asymmetrical black and white design, a gradient black and white, and a very monotone. You thought they were going to go all IMSA-like and do Corvette yellow or GM yellow.
Something interesting.
No. It's just shades of black and white and gray. I mean, depending on your TV and stuff, you get some black banding. You could be missing 16 levels of grayscale there if the brightness isn't high enough. So, you got that going. Motorsport also framed it as a major moment at launch for a new team trying to arrive with cultural scale, not just paddock credibility, but really trying to grab that American market. As Grace mentioned, multiple outlets reported that Michael Bay filed a lawsuit seeking $1.5 million, alleging Cadillac F1 used elements of his concepts after discussions about directing the ad ended. Now, reports summarized that the complaint, including claims like breach of contract, verbal and implied, fraud, quantum merit, and cites the filing timing, which is February 6th. So, in L.A. and all that stuff, the details behind the lawsuit. So apparently it's a thing. Cadillac. Then I think there was I saw an article that was reported that it was Cadillac's response by a spokesperson, and it said that the concept and creative predated Bay's involvement and that they were only exploring him as a potential director, and they expressed confidence that it will be resolved. So the assumption here is if Michael Bay sued Cadillac, then they must have stole it, and I would say, well, maybe not. Ad development often hinges around whose idea it was and whose concepts, who had the concept first, right? And whether that's enforceable enough, I don't know. But it doesn't prove misuse of that. It just means that now there's a legal fight about it. So I was thinking, Grace, is this actually turning into, was it just a harmless, good up with American F1 team launch week, and this is just launch week noise, a little lawsuit, or is it sort of a brand bruise for Cadillac, something they didn't need? Is Michael Bay the rich energy of Cadillac already?
I think he has more credibility than Rich Energy. So, he's a legitimate person with legitimate movies, not just some dude that swirled some things together with his arm, jungle juice, and put it in a can, right? So I think
poured Red Bull into a can that he designed himself.
Couple drops.
No one will notice.
It's fine. I think you made the point about, is this a new team trying to arrive with cultural scale and not just paddock credibility? I think the problem is usually it's one or the other. I think Cadillac is trying to have both, right? That's their hope. But I would also hope that it's not just, we spent all our resources on this commercial and they have no paddock credibility, right? That would be the worst option. So let's hope that's not true, because I'd rather them not have a commercial and have some paddock credibility than otherwise. But is this harmless? I I don't think this bruises Cadillac. I think by the time we get to Australia in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we're not going to be talking about this anymore. It's not going to bruise them like that, right? We're not going to be talking about this any longer. They're going to figure out something with Michael Bay, and we'll move on, right? Whether he's right or not.
So now Graham Loudon's got to add $1.5 million to his P&L and his expenses to pay off Michael Bay.
Either that, or they're the Trader Joe's of Formula One teams, and we stole your idea and we don't care.
We don't care.
It's ours now. Yeah, it looks exactly like your logo, but just enough that you can't sue us. So fine, be the Trader Joe's of the world and steal people's ideas just enough that you don't get sued, right? It'll be fine. But I don't think this is that big of a deal for Cadillac. They'll get past it. It's a big brand.
So, Paul, as soon as you saw that, you had to immediately think, oh, wow, that's like Mika Hakkinen's car in 98, 99.
Well, the thing is, it's not brightly colored, but I think that's probably a good thing. Because, if it's at the back of the pack and it's bright yellow, you see how far back it is.
No.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come in low-key and is that the Cadillac back there? I don't know. It could be dust.
It could be a Mercedes. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I'm just not sure. It's pretty far back, but I don't know. There's smoke coming from it. But, and as for the Michael Bay thing, honestly, I would have said it wasn't my idea because I thought it was pretty crap. So I thought it was pretty low.
Does this do more brand damage to Michael Bay by claiming it?
I wouldn't have claimed it because I think a 10-year-old could have come up with that concept. But
I was going to say that's
we're
the
going
other
to go in the
thing,
desert, and then the car's going to be blown up, and it's going to come back together, and then we're going to use a speech in the background, an inspiring speech, I tell you, with a bouncy noise, and
like the one of the most well-known motivational speeches, right? Like this wasn't like. That's what kind of caught me was like I didn't know you could trademark JFK's space speech.
It didn't sit well with me, honestly. It didn't. What tie do you have to that? It didn't make any sense to me at all. Well. It's got nothing to do with anything really, and it's just throw in any inspirational speech for crying out loud and play that with the background.
So tomorrow when Michael Bay drops the lawsuit, we'll know he actually listens to this podcast and was like, oh, Paul's right, and he'll drop it. We'll be
it's like, Mike, don't claim it. Yeah.
Although if you've seen Transformers 4, maybe you wouldn't be embarrassed. I don't know.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
Mike, can I be honest with you? I've never
not Oscar-worthy.
I've never watched one of his Transformers movies. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. It's just not my thing.
He's done some other stuff, too. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he has. I'm sure I've seen some of his work. Well, I did at the Super Bowl, the Cadillac ad.
Apparently you did.
Allegedly, I got to say that. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, does the Super Bowl strategy raise the ceiling for new teams or raise the risk profile too? You're doubling down. We're here, we're Cadillac, we're F1, and we're at the back of the grid.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. When teams, hopefully it doesn't come out of their cap or whatever, but it seems all this money savings for not doing launches, fancy launches and everything. Is this the most expensive F1 launch ever because they paid to be on TV when it happened?
Yeah.
Is it more expensive than dropping a car from a helicopter? I don't know.
I don't know. I think it is. I just hope by being black or gray, they'll have a different colored dot on the telemetry. That's all I want, right? By not being yellow, you're fine, right?
Yeah.
Do we have a black dot? We just don't need another shade of blue. But, I don't know. That's a good question. It could be quite expensive just by having a quick Super Bowl ad to people who, I don't know, like, people in America watch Formula One or know more about Formula One than they used to. But I don't know that we're quite at, like, commercial in the Super Bowl. People are going to be like, oh, Formula One, I forgot all about that. I don't think we're quite there yet in America with Formula One.
Hey, they got an IndyCar ad.
Who's that guy?
Yep. Yeah. Hey, Grace, what'd you think of McLaren's new livery, huh?
Well, I'm all for it. Sure.
Yeah. They're loving that papaya, aren't you?
Well, you gotta, if you are gonna lean into a color, and they're leaning into it, so then just keep right in there, right? Just
at least it means Grace doesn't have to change her whole wardrobe again.
That's true.
No, that's right. Once was enough.
I've said
what
it
if
before,
Zach
I'll say
landed
it
some
again.
big sponsor and they had to change all the colors? Everyone would be like walking around in old days news,
Yeah.
you know?
That's right.
I've said it before. I miss Ron Dennis's Predator Gray.
Yeah.
You know. So there you go. Now orange is just one of my least favorite colors, and that's not because of McLaren. It's because I look like death warmed over in orange. It's terrible. That's a horrible color.
Yeah, there's not a lot that goes with orange. I mean, it is a tough color.
It is a very
That's
You
good. I
can't
tend to
even
wear them more black.
rhyme a word with orange, right?
no. You
So
can't.
nothing really goes with it.
Paul, being your deep Aston Martin ties, what did you think of Aston Martin's livery?
I mean, they all honestly they don't look that different from all
They
the
don't.
previous years. There's no one's like, wow.
Green.
It wasn't like the Alpha when it came out white, and that was pretty cool. But
That was cool.
I haven't seen
Haas
any
so far-
liveries.
I thought Haas so far is one of the better looking ones.
Yeah,
Kind of like theirs.
and the Audi's good.
Audi's
But
kinda
it's
cool.
because it's new, right? It's
Right.
not just
Right. So we got
an
the
evolution.
you got the Adidas Mercedes. It's black. You've got Audi. It's dark. You've got Cadillac. It's black. So a lot of black dots on that little map, Grace, to follow around.
I don't like that. Again, I don't like that. Different shades of black, not okay.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to have their own color.
That's kind of goofy. So hey, looking ahead to this week, Paul, we've got Bahrain testing. I'm thinking we got to be watching for procedure excellence again, getting the systems right, getting everything working, the telemetry, the data. I have to think that F1, whatever they're doing with their graphics and their energy, I got to think this is where their broadcast teams will start, cutting their teeth. I think Sky is going to cover 1 hour of each day, not the full test.
So where do we watch it? Where do
I
we
have
watch
no
the
idea.
test?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. I'm an American. I have no idea where I'm going to watch any of this.
Apple TV. Why would that be?
Well,
Where
no,
do
it's
you
Apple
watch it?
TV, but I don't know. Is there
Schedule how
broadcast schedule? Are they covering the whole thing? I find the lack of noise and marketing and push and hype from Apple interesting. I mean,
certainly considering the amount of money they spent for it.
yeah, and considering the amount of hype they put behind like a new set of AirPods,
A whole
and this is
movie.
F1, yeah, and a
I
whole
think-
movie. Yeah.
I don't think we'll see hype from them until, the week before Australia. Unfortunately. Yeah.
That's odd to me. I would think they would
I
double
mean,
unless they're just going to
agree.
simulcast the Sky thing.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, but I think, again, if you're targeting the American market, we are the minority of the minority, right? Like,
Yeah.
I want coverage from testing, next week, or the end of this week and into next week. I don't know that most people that have Apple TV, they're not going to turn it on until March 3rd.
yeah.
Or do we think that the Apple money means that the Sky presentation has to be a bit more worldly rather than, press the red button, and guess who's
on
coming
Sky
up on
Q and Sky Glass.
Yeah, exactly, right? Maybe it has to be a bit more all-encompassing and use the same presenters. I don't know, because we certainly haven't heard of any different presenters, and you would have thought something would have happened by now. to know.
No.
Yeah, it's like coming next is more football. Watch the football. Watch the football. You can't possibly watch this amount of, but if you wanted to, your best chance is right here on Sky. Yeah.
You can watch old. They have pushed old content, F1 TV content onto Apple TV, and you can watch.
Have they?
Yes, you can watch old races because you can now, do picture in picture with your telemetry and in-car camera and your main screen. So
Okay.
Wow.
I will
used to
check
have-
that out.
yeah,
Little misknowledge. Yeah.
I know.
I don't know.
Well, I guess it's my own damn fault. I haven't logged into Apple TV in forever.
Although you do have to get past the I hate that everything has whatever that thing is where it's just like all the TV shows and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. Why did I come here? Right? I don't know. Now I'm like, oh right, shrinking's starting again. Right? Like now I'm right.
What is
Now I'm
this?
like, why did
Wait.
I open this app in the first place? Which is why they do it, and I get that, but it annoys me. I also hate that everything has to move and make noise. Like just hover and don't make noise. Right? Like I don't need it to move. I'm just. Yeah, it's fine.
I know.
Anyway, I'm
I know.
old. I just want it to
Totally.
be a still picture. But yeah, they've
Totally
started
agree.
putting some stuff on Apple TV. But I have seen nothing yet as of what they're doing for the new season. So that still is a mystery, and I'm guessing that's not really going to happen until we get right up into Australia. And we won't hear about it here until we get right up to Australia, because most of the American market won't care until then. If you do it now, you're too soon. You're too early.
Yeah, I would think this first test and everything would be a good opportunity to test that out, because I think the storyline is really kind of that, whether fans can actually follow what's happening on track, the energy tactics, because there's such a large part of the whole equation now with the race watch and all that, and if it's going to add clarity or does it create a black box of distrust, I don't know.
I think I also wouldn't want to have to compete with Drive to Survive, which must be coming out soon, right?
True.
We're within 3 weeks of the season. So if I was Apple TV, I wouldn't be like, hey, come over here, watch us. Oh, you're all over on Netflix. Cool. We'll see you in 2 weeks, right? Like, that's going to happen too. So I'm sure, I think we're interested and we want to know the answers to those questions, but I don't think most people that I run into in the streets that are like, oh, Lewis Hamilton, I've heard of him, they aren't interested in that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so hopefully we'll hear some stuff. Watch that on the graphics and all that good stuff. I think the teams will also start to shed a little more light about how easy it is to follow. You'll probably see some test starts. You'll see some of those elements that, deployment, derate zones. They're going to be really trying some of those programs. They're all going to be baked into a simulation of a race and how they do that. So I think there's going to be a lot. They've done that obviously at simulators, at their world headquarters for these teams, but doing it live on track, they may do some of that too. So watch that space. Grace, you got any Albans Cats before we bail out?
I do, and I did want to say I hope that Ted has had some time to figure it out, because that's what we really need. We need Ted Kravitz and what weird ways he's going to try to explain these things to us. That's really what we need. So he needs some time to figure that out.
It's time for Albans Cats, Grace. Oh, yes.
Controversy.
Yes. As Paul might say.
So, we discuss,
May. Paul, have you ever pronounced it controversy in your life?
I'm sure.
When you were young?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But now I've been Americanized.
There you go. It's been beaten out of you.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, the Super Bowl was last night. It was, little thing happened. Yeah. I know it wasn't your team, so, right, why would, anyway.
I didn't even watch it.
You didn't watch it at all?
No.
Wow.
I was
busy,
amazing.
Grace. The first half was amazing.
Well, it was like 3-0.
None of it was amazing. None of it was amazing. No. Well, anyway, then you missed the big Charles Leclerc surprise commercial.
I did miss that.
So that was...
and Lewis and Kardashian.
Well, that you didn't miss, but I'm just saying that as watching the game, we knew the Cadillac commercial was coming. But, I'm like chatting with friends. I'm like, that's Charles Leclerc. That was very, I didn't know that was coming. It seemed like a pretty good kept secret by the world of F1. They can't keep secret anything. So the fact that there's Charles Leclerc in a Pokemon commercial was not something that was on my bingo card. So that was kind of fun. It kind of caught me off guard. I did also want to give, speaking about Formula One coverage, as you people may have known, Laura Winters was very pregnant towards the end of the season. She just debuted. I don't think she just had the baby, but they just had her son.
Congratulations.
Baby Alfie.
She's really good.
Yes.
She does a great
What's the baby's name?
Alfie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know if that's short for, Alfred or something.
Alfredo?
Alfredo,
Alfred, Alfie.
Yes.
Alf.
Bon appetito, Alfredo. No, I don't know, but Alfie was what was on the post. So anyway, congratulations, Laura.
It's very Michael Caine of her.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Alfie.
Alfie.
Yes.
So,
wait,
and then
what's the ticking sound? Paul, what are you tapping over there?
Maybe
Can you stop
leg
it?
was...
Thank you,
my leg. Okay, sorry.
Don't move. Whatever
these
you're
wires
doing.
are very sensitive.
Yeah, I just kept hearing this.
Yes. It sounds like construction.
I need to be like I need to be like Tom Cruise and hang down by wires or something.
My God, it's Race Watch. It's the AI.
Oh, God.
It's come to kill us all.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Grace. Yeah, so...
No, I mean-
yeah.
And I was just going to say, too, I don't know how much you guys have been watching the Olympics, but I do think it has set a high bar for Formula One and some drone use. I think there's been some great drone footage in the Olympics. I was watching some snowboarding. Very cool. I think Formula One needs to get on this drone bandwagon and do a better job. I thought there's just some really cool views.
But not the commentators. Commentating is awful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Olympics, right? You can't
Well, now, wait a minute, because Lee Diffie does the luge.
Well, apart
we
from
haven't done the luge yet.
Yeah. I watched the men's luge and the drones like following them down the chute.
Yeah, I just think there's been...
Lee was really excited, as he should be. It was pretty cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Except, I don't know why they feel compelled to put in the microphone of the drone. Because
I don't
all
know,
you
right?
can
You
hear
can
is
hear his
the
buzz.
whirring
Yeah.
of the drone. We don't need the drone's audio because the drone's
just
audio
video.
is crap, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just
That is
noise.
true.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, you can hear the whirring. You definitely know when it's...
Yeah.
Although I find it's helpful because then I know when to look. Right? Because with snowboarding, right, they always start with the drone. So when you start hearing the whirring, that's when I need to look and watch them and then not have to pay attention for 10 seconds while they're doing whatever they do. So anyway, I think we've seen some cool drone action, and I think that Formula One needs to pick up on this because you get some really cool car angles with some drones that we don't normally get. So get on that.
Yeah, I like it. The
All right.
drone could follow the cars down the pit lane.
Or like I think when they did the one time at Silverstone, at Spa, where instead of going with the cars up the turn, right, they followed the, so the drone was in front of the cars, right? This is a bad visual, but you know what I mean? So you could see the cars coming towards you up into Eau Rouge instead of going with the cars up into Eau Rouge. Does that make sense? It was a really cool angle. You could do more of that where the camera is facing the cars coming towards you, which isn't the angle we usually get to see. We're usually with the cars going through the track, right? So it would be an interesting angle.
It would be interesting.
There
That's
you go.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
There you
Anything
go.
else we're missing in this episode?
That's it. We've covered all of it.
We've covered all
That's
bases,
it.
folks.
We've reached the end
nothing else.
of the
We've reached the end. We're like, okay, what else should we talk about? I don't know. Nothing. It's that's it.
Back
That's
to the
all I
Olympics.
got.
Williams. Yeah.
Williams a no-show, but they are showing up for Bahrain, Paul.
We hope.
Yeah, and Aston
Nothing
Martin
to
better
see.
show up a little bit more, too. I'm a little worried
Yeah,
about
what's
them.
that with 12 laps?
I'm more worried
Yeah,
about Aston Martin than I am about Williams, so...
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question about this week is the teams that didn't get the laps, how are they going to evolve and try to
what's
catch
that
up?
going to look like?
Yeah. Because there's teams that put in, over 1,100 miles
Right.
Yeah.
which is
already,
massive,
right?
Yeah.
And-
But, and I mean,
and they have
McLaren's been
none.
at the lower end, but I'm not worried about McLaren. They're not at the low end where I'm really very worried about some of those
No,
teams.
I know. You're worried about Ferrari, and so am I.
I'm always worried about Ferrari.
Yes.
Me
too, Grace. All right. Well, that does it for this. Paul, thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
I know. My silence was actually, it was all the best will in the world. I was trying to give you
I
a little
appreciate
space
it.
to do what you were doing,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to bug you. But I appreciate you coming on. And Paul, we are going to have to, I will put together a season preview podcast. So we're all going to have to get on between now and the first. We're going to have to get on and do a season preview, and I will put that together.
Very good.
And but anyway, if you like and you want to share your comment, let us know what you think about the topics we discussed this evening. You can do that at theparkforme.com and share your opinion. If you like the podcast, go over to your favorite player, give us a good rating over there. We'd appreciate it. And, for crying out loud, what does it take to get you guys to go to the YouTube, to watch the video, hit like, subscribe, the bell icon? You guys are it's what I love about you. You're not lemmings, and I get it. And that's what's awesome about you. But you can do that. You can follow us and share the podcast. We would be incredibly grateful. But we are incredibly grateful for our patron supporters. We could not and would not do this podcast without all of you. So thank you very, very, very much. We are so grateful for your support. All right. Thanks, Paul, for coming back. When is Sebring, by the way?
In middle of March. So it might actually be this same weekend as Australia.
That's not right.
Now I see why you wanted to come on, because you wanted to give it like, oh, hey, Grace, guess what?
Guess what? I came on that one time.
I'll be okay, because Sebring's a Saturday race, right?
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
I'll be
so, but is that your legit next activity, or everything right now?
Well, no, the team is actually racing at Bathurst next weekend, but I'm not there, sadly. But
that's right, Bathurst.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Are you racing the Mercedes there?
Yeah.
Again? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So don't get confused.
I'm racing myself at the end of the month too. So
nice, very nice. I'm not racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I race every day.
I know you do, Grace. I know you do. Anyway, all right. Well, that does for this podcast. We will be back next week to do it all over again. And until that time, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber, saying so long, Grace.
See you next week.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. It's not what I feel I've got to prove at all. I don't really want to prove anything. I started as an amateur with no idea or no intention of becoming world champion. I was curious to find out what it was like to drive a car fast, to drive on a certain circuit, to drive a certain type of car.